You know how it goes. Everyone tells you to follow all these spiritual practices that guarantee success. You wake up early to visualize your goals, grab your journal, and start writing out your intentions. You recite positive affirmations in front of the mirror, and every day you commit to meditation, all in the name of aligning with your highest self. You consciously raise your vibration, reminding yourself to trust the process. You're doing the work. But then, when you take a step back and look at your life, something feels off. The months fly by, and you realize the same feelings keep creeping up. You set new goals, yet the results seem to always fall short. You can't help but notice that the connections you're making still echo those toxic patterns you're desperately trying to break. And as for your finances, well, they feel stuck in a never-ending loop of reset. Despite all the effort, your emotional state keeps bouncing back and forth. Hopeful one moment, frustrated the next. And then, deep down, a question starts echoing louder and louder. Why does it feel like I'm stuck in a loop, living the same life over and over again? Here's the truth. The problem isn't you. It's not about your character. It's not because you're lacking value, intelligence, or work ethic. And it's definitely not about how much energy you put into things. The real issue is something much deeper: your energetic broadcast. Here's the thing. The quantum universe doesn't care about your effort. It doesn't respond to how badly you want something, how intense your visualizations are, or how hard you're working to keep that positive mindset alive. What it responds to, however, is the frequency you're putting out there, whether you realize it or not. The universe doesn't measure how much energy you put into your goals. It mirrors the frequency you're continuously emitting, often on a subconscious level. And here's the catch. It's not just about what you're doing consciously. It's how you feel when no one's watching, when you're not actively trying to manifest or create something. It's about just being. This is key. You're not stuck because you're bad at manifesting or creating. You're stuck because you're still operating at the same frequency as the version of you that you've outgrown. And as long as that old energetic pattern is still lingering in the background, the universe will keep reflecting it back to you, not because it's trying to punish you, but because it's doing exactly what it's meant to do. The quantum field is neutral, simply reflecting the energy you're putting out. And here's the real kicker. It doesn't matter if your dreams are good or bad. The universe doesn't judge them. It just mirrors your energetic reality. That's why, no matter how many vision boards you create, how often you visualize, or how many motivational podcasts you listen to, things still feel stuck. It's not about the tools you're using. It's about the frequency you're broadcasting beneath it all. This principle is at the heart of something I call energetic recreation. Your unconscious mind is programmed to recreate whatever feels familiar, not because it's the best for your growth, but because it's what feels safe. The quantum field picks up on this and says, "All right, this is your normal. This is what feels comfortable and predictable." And the universe strengthens that. That's why, even if you try new things, new habits, new routines, the outcome stays the same. If your energetic foundation hasn't shifted, you'll keep attracting the same circumstances. It's like repeating abundance affirmations all day long, but if your nervous system is still wired for scarcity, the quantum field won't reflect abundance. It'll reflect scarcity instead. What a lot of people don't realize is that the universe isn't against you. It's actually working perfectly in line with your energy. The issue isn't that the universe isn't listening to your wishes. It's that it's reflecting back exactly what you're energetically putting out. This is a huge reason why you might feel like you're doing everything right, yet your results don't change. Let's dive deeper into what I call quantum repetition. Even if you're doing everything right, if you're still emitting the same frequency, whether you're aware of it or not, the quantum field will match that energy. Your actions, thoughts, and words might be different, but if your core energetic signature hasn't shifted, neither will your results. You could be taking all the right actions, but if the underlying energy is still stuck in old patterns, the field will keep responding to that. Here's the thing most people miss. Your unconscious mind is still broadcasting the same energy it's always been. You might change your actions, you might adopt new habits, or try new approaches. But if your nervous system is still programmed for limitation or scarcity, the quantum field will keep reflecting scarcity, no matter how many prosperity affirmations you say. This repeating cycle isn't proof that you're broken or failing. It's simply the universe reflecting your true energetic broadcast. So, what if, instead of piling on more tools, techniques, and practices, you focused on clearing out the outdated frequencies that are still running in your system? What if the real work wasn't about adding more to your plate, but letting go of what no longer serves you? Because here's the hard truth. You can't override your energetic foundation with affirmations alone. You can't manifest something new if you're still attached to the emotional conditioning of your old self. The cycle will keep repeating because you're still broadcasting the same energetic signature. You can say all the positive things you want, but underneath it all, that same insecurity or anxiety is still holding you back. You can try new actions, but if your underlying frequency hasn't changed, the quantum field will only reflect your old patterns. It won't judge you, it will just reflect what you're projecting, over and over again. And this is where quantum repetition plays out. The quantum field isn't blocking your desires. It's reflecting your energetic identity, what you constantly accept, expect, and settle for. Your true identity is defined by your frequency, not by what you say you are or wish you could be. It's shaped by what you feel is true for you on a deep, unconscious level. So, if you want to break free from this loop and stop recreating the same reality, you have to change the frequency you're sending out. That means you need to recognize what you've been repeating at a deep level, mentally, emotionally, and vibrationally. Once you break free from that old energetic loop, you can start creating something new. But until you break that unconscious cycle, you're not really manifesting a new reality. You're just redecorating the old one with new practices and tools. When you recognize that old pattern, though, that's where real transformation begins. Because once you're aware of it, you can start moving beyond it. This is where the concept of quantum reality jumping comes into play. Quantum reality jumping isn't about forcing a new reality into existence. It's about embodying a new frequency so completely that the reality around you naturally begins to shift. Now, let's break this down. Most people think that changing their external circumstances is the key to transformation. They believe that if they just change their actions or adopt new habits, things will finally be different. But here's the thing. You can change your actions all you want. But if your inner energy, the frequency you're vibrating at, hasn't changed, your reality won't reflect the change you're trying to create. Quantum reality jumping is about shifting your internal frequency. It's about stepping into the version of yourself who already exists in the reality you desire. When you do that, your energy will automatically align with that reality, and the quantum field will begin to reflect it back to you. The key is to stop focusing on what you want and start embodying the energy of who you want to be. This concept might sound a bit abstract, but it's actually a natural process once you understand how energy works. When you align with your future self, the person who already lives in the reality you want to create, the field will match that energy. Your external reality will begin to reorganize itself around your new energetic signature. But it doesn't happen all at once. It's a gradual process that unfolds as you stay aligned with the energy of your desired reality. So, how do you begin this process? It starts with understanding that your unconscious mind, your nervous system, and the quantum field all work together to create the reality you experience. Your unconscious mind stores emotional patterns, beliefs, and memories, which influence your energetic vibration. Your nervous system constantly broadcasts this energy, whether you're aware of it or not. And the quantum field responds to this broadcast by manifesting a reality that matches it. Your nervous system plays a huge role in keeping these energetic patterns alive. This is why, even if you consciously want to change, you can still feel stuck. Your body, your nervous system, is still wired to respond to old emotional patterns. That's why transformation can feel so difficult, because your body, your unconscious mind, and your nervous system are all still attached to the old version of you. To truly break free from this, you need to change the energy at the root level. You need to align your body, mind, and emotions with the new reality you want to create. But here's the catch. Your unconscious mind wasn't designed to create happiness or success. It was designed to keep you safe. What does that mean? It means that your unconscious mind tends to prioritize comfort and predictability over growth or expansion. If you've been operating from a place of scarcity, limitation, or fear for a long time, your nervous system will feel more comfortable staying in that energy. The unknown feels unsafe, even if it's better for you in the long run. That's why shifting your energy can feel so challenging. It's not just about changing your thoughts. It's about retraining your nervous system to feel safe with a new frequency. Once you start to embody the energy of your future self, your body has to learn to feel safe with the new emotions that come with that reality. This is why it's so important to feel your way into your new reality. You need to connect with the version of yourself who already has what you desire. How does that version of you feel? What emotions do they experience on a daily basis? What energy do they embody? When you start to feel these emotions, peace, abundance, love, joy in your body, you begin to rewire your nervous system. This is how you shift your energy. Instead of thinking your way into your new reality, you feel your way into it. And when you do this consistently, the quantum field begins to respond to your new energy. Slowly but surely, the universe will start to reflect that back to you in your external world. But here's where things get tricky. There's a phase in this process that many people don't understand. The void phase. The void happens when your old reality starts to dissolve, but your new one hasn't fully manifested yet. This is where the magic happens, but it can also feel incredibly uncomfortable. When you're in the void, it may seem like nothing's happening. It can feel like you're stuck in limbo, unsure of who you are or where you're going. This phase can be confusing, and many people mistake it for a sign that nothing is working. But in reality, it's a sign that your old reality is starting to break apart, and the new one is on the horizon. If you can stay grounded during this phase, you'll come out the other side stronger and more aligned with your new reality. The key is to resist the urge to revert back to your old patterns. The void is a space of infinite possibilities. It's where you get to choose your new frequency without the old patterns holding you back. But it can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're not used to sitting with uncertainty. This is where energetic boundaries become important. As you align with your new frequency, you may find that your environment and the people around you begin to change. Some people, situations, and places will no longer resonate with the energy you're embodying. That's okay. It's a natural part of the process. Setting energetic boundaries means being mindful of the energy you allow into your space. It's not about cutting people off or dramatically changing your life overnight. It's about protecting your energy. You might need to distance yourself from conversations or environments that drain you or pull you back into old energetic patterns. Setting these boundaries is a way of honoring your own energy and making sure you stay aligned with the frequency of your desired reality. Now, let's talk about reverse synchronicities, something most people don't understand but are incredibly important. Reverse synchronicities happen when everything seems to go wrong. You might encounter obstacles, experience setbacks, and feel like the universe is working against you. But guess what? This doesn't mean you're off track. In fact, it's often the final resistance of your old reality trying to hold on to you. Reverse synchronicities are a sign that you're on the verge of a breakthrough. The field is responding to your new frequency, and your old reality is fighting to keep you in your comfort zone. This is a crucial moment in the process. The question is, will you give up and return to your old patterns, or will you stay grounded in your new frequency and trust that the breakthrough is just around the corner? It's important to remember that the quantum field responds to your energy, not your urgency. When you're rushing or panicking, you're broadcasting a signal of lack and separation. But when you slow down, breathe, and trust the process, you create space for your new reality to manifest. The field isn't responding to your urgency. It's responding to the coherence of your energy. So, if you can stay aligned and grounded, even when things feel tough, the universe will begin to reorganize itself around your new energetic signature. Now, let's take a closer look at what it really means to stop demanding proof from the universe. This is one of the most powerful practices in quantum reality jumping. So many people get caught in the trap of waiting for external validation before they believe their efforts are paying off. They want immediate results, and if they don't see them, they start doubting the process or even give up entirely. But here's the truth. The quantum field doesn't respond to your need for proof. It responds to your energy, your alignment, and your consistency. When you stop seeking external evidence that things are changing, you free up your energy. You stop feeding the cycle of doubt and impatience, and you start anchoring into the truth that your reality is already shifting, even if you can't see it just yet. This is when the magic truly starts to unfold. When you align with the frequency of your desired reality, the universe will reflect that back to you, often in small, subtle ways at first. These are the signs you've been waiting for. Synchronicities, little moments of clarity, opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. These aren't coincidences. They are the quantum field responding to your new energy. So, how do you make this shift? It's about embodying the energy of your future self right now, in this moment. The version of you who's already living the life you desire is vibrating at a specific frequency. The key is to stabilize that frequency and live from that space. You don't need to wait for the future to align with the person you want to be. You can choose to live from that energy today. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about reconnecting with the essence of who you truly are beneath all the conditioning, fear, and doubt. This is the version of you who already knows what it's like to feel abundant, peaceful, and successful. This is the person who has already achieved their goals. When you connect with that energy and start living it now, you start to shift your reality. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through conscious observation. This is a practice where you become aware of the old patterns when they arise, without getting caught up in them. When fear, doubt, or anxiety emerges, instead of reacting or feeding into it, you simply pause, you breathe, you observe it. In that moment, you create space between your old energy and the new energy you're embodying. You ask yourself, is this coming from my old self or my new self? This act of observation is a powerful tool for shifting your energy. The more you practice it, the more you can move beyond the old patterns that no longer serve you. As you continue to embody the frequency of your future self, you'll start to notice subtle shifts in your reality. These shifts might not be immediate or grand. They often show up as small, quiet moments, synchronicities, changes in how people respond to you, opportunities that seem to align out of nowhere. These are signs that your energy is starting to match the frequency of your desired reality. It's like tuning a radio. At first, the signal may be weak or unclear, but as you align with your new frequency, the signal becomes stronger, and the reality you desire begins to unfold. Now, here's the important part. Trust in the process. Trust is the key to quantum reality jumping. It's easy to get frustrated when things don't change overnight. But the truth is, the quantum field doesn't operate on your timeline. It responds to your energy, but it doesn't work on a linear scale. Sometimes, the universe needs time to reorganize itself to match your new frequency. The more you trust the process, the more you'll see the subtle shifts that ultimately lead to big changes. And during this time, remember, the universe isn't linear, and neither is your journey. The path may not always be clear, and it may take time for the shifts to become visible in your external world. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. You are always making progress, even when you can't see it. Trust that the process is working in the background and keep aligning with your future self. The void phase is often where most people give up, thinking they're stuck or not getting anywhere. But in reality, the void is a crucial part of the process. It's a time of transformation and potential. It's the space between the old reality and the new one. If you can stay grounded during this time, you'll come out the other side stronger and more aligned with your true self. The void is where the most powerful shifts happen. It's where the magic occurs. In this phase, your energy is in a state of flux, and the universe is preparing to reflect your new frequency back to you. This is a time of deep transformation. If you can embrace the uncertainty, trust the process, and continue to align with your future self, the universe will begin to reflect that energy in more tangible ways. The key is to stay grounded and remain confident in the fact that you are shifting your energy, even if it doesn't seem obvious at first. The truth is, you are the creator of your own reality. The universe responds to your frequency, and when you align with your future self, you can begin to see the world around you shift. But the key to making that jump is to stop forcing the change and start aligning with the energy of the life you want to create. When you stop trying to control the process and instead trust that the universe will reflect your energy, you open up the space for true transformation. So, here's the big question. Are you ready to stop feeding the old cycle and start embodying the frequency of your future self? Are you willing to trust the process and stop demanding proof from the universe? Because once you do, the shift begins. When you stop forcing and instead start aligning, the quantum field has no choice but to respond. And that's when the magic happens. The jump to a new reality doesn't require effort. It requires alignment. When you align with the frequency of the life you want, the universe will start rearranging itself around you. All you have to do is trust the process and remain grounded in your new energy. The quantum field will reflect your transformation, and your reality will shift accordingly. It's time to stop working harder and start aligning with the energy of your future self. When you do that, everything else will fall into place.